What's up, y'all? It's Nick. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back again with updates. I'm still going strong on my 10K challenge, trying to reach 10K within 10 months. And I have some amazing and exciting updates for August and September that I want to go over with you, as well as some other pieces too. So, just taking a quick look at my tracker tool, you can see for August, I had a goal of $1,000 and my investment was $2,500, which is absolutely insane. And I had interest of $10.64 paid out to me, which was about 0.3%. And then in September, I had another $2,055.84 that I invested, which led to $20.02 interest or 0.36% interest. And again, both of these are just accelerating my $1,000 a month. I'm really thinking that if I can continue to cut down my expenses, which a big part of that has been cutting out a lot of eating out and moving that money over to my high yield savings account. The Fed cut rates, so I'm really looking to try to accelerate and have my cash reserve on hand a lot sooner rather than later. And so I'm super excited about that. October, I've also invested $1,516.82 to date, and that brings my total invested to $7,106.46, which is really exciting to be able to do this within 3 months, 4 months. You can see the breakdown by month in this bar chart as well, where you can see the goals that I have met and exceeded, as well as the interest that's earned as well. And right here, our progress to goal, we're just over 70% to our goal. And I really feel like if I can keep up this savings pace, that I can really reach that 10K a lot sooner than maybe I initially thought. So I'm really working hard to continue to cut down my expenses. A lot of like the eating out has been cut down. A lot of the like other type of activities have been cut down, and really focusing on building up this nest egg. And I actually going to go over my monthly breakdown, and I want to show you all some of the different category breakdowns that I'm really prioritizing in future goals. But one quick thing I did want to point out, because the Fed has cut rates, a lot of high yield savings accounts, banks, and other financial institutions have also followed suit. And so Wealthfront, where they initially had a 5% APY, it's actually gone down 0.5% since September of 2024. So now they're offering a 4.5% APY, whereas before I had a 5% APY. And, it's totally understandable. It's part of just what happens when the Fed cuts rates. I'm going to be monitoring it just to continue to see how my investments grow, or how my cash reserves grow. I'm also still getting this 0.5% APY boost until January 25th, 2025. So that's actually really good too, to still preserve some of those interests. But that's just something that has happened recently. And so just something to be mindful of if you are looking to open up a high yield savings account, or if you have one, you might have noticed that change. And looking at some of my contributions, you can see in September the 13th, I put in $500. Then on the 16th, I put in another $1,255.84. On the 18th, I put in another $300. And then October 1st, I put in $1,516.83. So I'm looking again, I get paid halfway through the month, and then I get paid towards the end of the month. I'm looking to, again, put some more sometime between the 13th and the 18th again. And then I'll also be putting some more towards the end of the month, beginning of next month. So another thing I want to go through is category breakdowns. And this is just kind of a larger picture where I see my savings, my high yield savings account going in the long term. And I kind of broke it down into some shorter term goals that are going to ultimately help me reach this long term allocation that I'm looking for. So I'm going to break it down and walk through it with you all so you kind of get an idea of where I'm kind of planning for this to go over time. I'm going to format this a little bit. Okay, so currently in Wealthfront, you can put your funds in different types of categories, which can really help organize how you're saving and where your savings are going. And right now, I have three main categories that I'm in putting money into and allocating my contributions to. So the first one is my emergency fund. The second one is vacation, and the third one is for a down payment for my first home. So ultimately, and in the long term, I'd love to have $18,000 saved into my emergency fund. And the reason why is because the golden rule is to have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up in an emergency fund. And so for me, I average anywhere between just around $3,000 a month on expenses. So if I do that times six, that's about $18,000 saved away. And I think that's a good metric to reach, to really have that emergency fund saved up and comfortable for me in case anything happens. I'll be good for at least a half a year, right? And it'll be also earning interest as well. So kind of replenishing itself too. That's going to make up 26% of my portfolio. So you can see right here, this is the goal allocation right here. I'd love for emergency funds to be just around 26%. I also have a goal for vacations. That's kind of my second priority goal in my high yield savings account. I love to take trips. I love to be able to have money away to be able to, go and explore, have some other exciting things I want to do for vacation. So for me, I also have like a limit on how much I actually want to go towards vacation right now. So for me, anything at or under 5% is ideal. That way I'm not skewing just how much I'm putting towards vacation to compare to some of my other priorities. Because while it is something I enjoy doing, I do have other financial priorities that I want to make sure I'm investing in. So as of now, I'd love to reach 2,500 in my vacation category within Wealthfront, and that will account for about 4% of my goal allocation. The third bucket that I have is for putting a down payment on a home. And I live in a very expensive city in California. It's super expensive here. And I based this number, which is $50,000. This is going to be over a number of years, of course, but it's based off of the average home price, $1.2 million, is what I think is, a fair average if I were to buy a home here. And because I'd be a first-time home buyer, I'd get a 3.5% first-time FHA loan. So 3.5% of $1.2 million plus another 1.5% for any kind of closing fees or other fees through the home purchase leaves me around $50,000 needed to have enough for a down payment and purchase a home. Of course, in the future, who knows, I might actually end up deciding I might want to move to a different city or different state, and that could be adjusted. But right now, I'm just basing it off of where I'm at currently and how much it will cost if I were to put a down payment on a home in California. And because of the price and just because of that goal, right now it's at about 70% of my goal allocation, or that's how much I would want it to be. Now you can see that these are the goals, and this right here is currently where I'm at. So the total would be $70,500 as the goal in my savings account. And of course, this is going to be broken up over a number of years. I'm not going to reach this tomorrow or by the end of the year by any means, but it is a good opportunity for me to keep track of exactly how much I need to save in my high yield savings account. Currently, I'm just over $7,000 in my account. So I'm at 10% towards my larger goal. And it's kind of crazy to think about being 10% of the way there, because all I have to do is do this 9 more times and I'll be there, right? And it sounds a lot less daunting when I look at it broken down this way. to be able to reach those goals, which is very exciting and very motivating for me, to be able to every month check in, see where I'm at, and see where I need to reallocate. So currently I have $5,250 in my emergency fund, which is making up currently about 74% of my current allocation is in my emergency fund. And that's only because it's such a priority for me now. Like the first thing is to pay off any high interest debt. Second is to build up that emergency fund. So following those standards, I'm on that steps 2 of building up my emergency fund for 6 months. And that is a priority for me. I'll kind of skip down right here and go over the home piece, but I also have $1,770 in my home category. And that's really just me getting started putting money away towards that goal. I imagine it'll pick up a lot more once I get my emergency fund maxed out, and I'll kind of go over some of my next steps on how I'm going to prioritize these other like sub goals or sub tasks within this larger goal. But currently, it's making up only 25% of my allocation, and eventually, again, I want to get it to 70%. And vacation, it's a very important thing to me. However, I do have other priorities, again, mainly my emergency fund. So right now I'm just using any kind of like change, like, $20 here, $30 there, $15 that I have left over in my bank account, and also that $33 that I've gained in interest, I just put that towards my vacation. So right now my vacation is just any loose change I have, few dollars here, to just kind of start putting money towards that. And right now you can see it makes up 1.2% of my allocation, and my goal is to get it to around 4%. So that's kind of where my allocation is and where I plan on moving my allocations. And Wealthfront just has because of their categories, it makes it really easy to be able to save for these different buckets. And eventually I'll add other ones too. I have some other ideas of ones that I want to add, but these 3 are like me prioritizing what's really important to me at this stage of my life over the next 3 to 5 years. And, because of these allocations, I'm able to really take step by steps to get there. Moving down here a bit, you can see that I have 5 kind of like sub goals or like smaller tasks that I've laid out. And the first one is the one I've been sharing with you all, is reaching 10K in my high yield savings account. So that's the first goal. If I can first just get $10,000 net in my high yield savings account, then I will be able to move into some of these more of other goals that I'd be excited to share with you all as well. So after I reach 10K, and again, I'm about 70% of the way there, then I want to reach 10K in my emergency funds. So I'm going to navigate to specifically putting money in to my emergency fund and building that up to 10K, right? After that, I want to invest $700 monthly into home, and then $100 monthly into emergency until my full emergency goal is met. So my emergency fund goal is $18,000. I first want to get $10,000 into my high yield savings account. Then I want to build up to $10,000 in my emergency fund. Then from there, I'm going to start reallocating some of my funds, some of my money into other areas. So, I have like a retirement account through my employer. I also am looking at the financial independence of the FIRE movement and really trying to build up my brokerage account and some positions in there, which, maybe I'll do some sort of like videos around in the future. And so I'll be reallocating some of the funds that I've been putting into my high yield towards other financial instruments, but I'll still be investing every month. Invest dividends into vacation until goal is met. So I'll continue to just invest dividends and any other kind of like, change I have into my vacation category. And then once that's met, I'll be investing into my home category once all the other goals are met. So it's a few different things that are happening right now. I might refine this a bit more. I'll think about it a little bit more, but this is what makes the most sense to me. And I'm excited to hear kind of what your goals are. What are some of the things that are really important to you that you're prioritizing? Drop them down and leave a comment, like and subscribe. Again, thanks y'all for following along on this journey with me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.